Joining us right here on the Rich Eisen Show right now, co-host of Intentional Talk on MLB Network, and he will be part of the American Century Championship Tournament in Tahoe, the famed celebrity event at Edgewood Tahoe Golf Course coming up in mid-July. Kevin Millar back here on the program. How are you, Kevin? Good to see you.
Reggie, how you doing, brother?
What's going on in your mind? How's everything?
You know what? I'm trying to get this putting down, and I'm telling you right now, it drives me nuts. It drives me nuts. They talk about trying to putt with confidence, but you try to do it, and you got to need some results. So I don't know.
Okay. You're firing darts still, though, Kevin, right? I mean, like, what do you think?
It's funny because I was telling my buddy, like, he's not a great driver of the golf ball day.
Yeah.
And I can drive the golf ball pretty good, like center cut, just put it down there, let old man swing.
Yep.
But the putting, you have to get the ball in the hole, the three putts.
Yes.
And it's like when you three putt, it's like a chunk wedge, but you're talking about 25 feet, and then takes you three to get in there. You're like, can't do that. Not in Tahoe.
Well, I mean, you got a ton of, ball players that are there, too. I mean, can you finish top 5 of ball players? What do you think, Kevin? Can you finish top 5?
When I start, 5 would be tough. Top 10 is like a goal.
Okay.
I've been in the teens now. I think the highest maybe is 15th. So the one thing about this course, though, obviously up there near 7,000 feet in Edgewood, is that you got to start doing math. And I wasn't great in math. So when you're talking about 15% less, so now all of a sudden, your 300-yard drive is a 285, but you're hitting numbers. 9 irons don't look at 170. You're usually at 145 to 50, but that's the biggest thing. It's just getting the ball in the hole. So to answer your question, top 10 I'm trying for.
How about this? Top position player. Can you do that?
Ooh.
Let's take the pitchers out of it. Let's take the pitchers out of it. Smoltz is out of it. All the big three from Atlanta. Let's take them out of it.
Mulder's out of it.
Derek
Lowe's out of it.
Yes. What do you think?
So I think you're on something. I think that's the goal. Be the highest position player baseball-wise.
That's right. Who else is a position player in the field?
That's right. I got to say, I know A-Rod's going to be his first appearance this year.
Okay, come on.
Pujols has got great game, by the way. Pujols is tough. He finished, I think, higher than me in this Dallas event in January, but he's really got great game. I'm like, for a big fella, hit a lot of home runs. He's got soft hands. So off the list.
Hey, does A-Rod have stick? Because A-Rod strikes me as a guy who just wants to ride the golf cart. You know what I mean?
Well, I'll tell you right now, he's been working on his game. It's a whole different ball game. Your first thing, but I'd probably say Alex is, 10.
Okay.
And when I tell guys, when you get done playing, learn to golf. We all start out high, and then you figure out how to get that ball in the hole. I'm still working on that part.
Kevin Millar here on the Rich Eisen Show. Let's start the ball talk with what my colleague Chris Brockman just threw in my direction on our overreaction segment, that the Dodgers-Yankees series we just witnessed last weekend is going to be the matchup in the World Series. What would you say to that?
Yeah, I think you got to figure out. I have to call Robbie Thompson with the Phillies and go, they won't like that with their 3 starters, Ranger Suarez being unbelievable. It's a very, very good call. That series was very, very good watching these teams. I think you're onto something. But the Phillies, if they stay healthy, that staff with Wheeler and Nola and Ranger Suarez, they are tough. They're scrappy. And then you obviously got Bryce Harper in the postseason.
Yeah. And so what about the American League? Do you think the Orioles would be the ones to be raising their hand to crash the party? They're only 1 loss behind the Yankees right now.
Orioles. They are a good ball club, and they're not fake good. They're not this young, group. They are a team that plays very veteran-like because their young players are ball players, and you don't see a whole lot of antics. Brandon Hyde's done an unbelievable job of creating this makeup, and they got studs. So they're a team that's going to be right there all year. The Yankees have been unbelievable. I mean, with Soto in that lineup, it's amazing the length that you generate, and then you add to that with Judge, who didn't get a hit his first month and was getting booed at Yankee Stadium, to now looking like as close as I said yesterday to Barry Bonds. I mean, he is on breaking balls, fastballs, 97, hanging sliders, and it's not that easy, but it slows down for him when he is this hot. It's been remarkable to watch, and obviously his 24 home runs leading the big leagues, and just a specimen. He really is a great hitter.
But, I mean, Soto is truly remarkable. You know what it's like to have to perform when it's expected for you to perform in the Northeast. You know what that's like. You know what it's like when you're young and making all this cash and you're going to want a mint as well, and you show up somewhere. The way that he came out of the gate, certainly when Judge was struggling, and so was Stanton. So for him to be there in the two-hole, and Volpe obviously sitting there at the top of the lineup after a great rookie season, I would say, a good rookie season to now a great second season right now. Him batting behind Volpe and in front of Judge, and then it sort of extends the lineup where Verdugo can hit fifth. It just I run out of superlatives to describe what he means for the Yankees.
Yeah, because you look at, they've been right-handed dominant, in that stadium. If you can add some lefties, they went out and got Anthony Rizzo, and that filled a little bit of a gap. But now with Verdugo and Soto, the balance, and when they're healthy, LeMahieu's back now. I mean, they are a tough lineup. But we've never had a chance to see Stanton and Judge in this line this long, and Soto, the addition. You see the length that you can bring to a couple lefties, because now the matchups are tough, right? And now you got a ballpark, right field fence is, 310, but Judge can go foul pole to foul pole. Stanton goes foul pole to foul pole, and they're monsters to pitch to. So they have, and let's talk about Benji Hill for a second. I was joking around saying, where does Garrett Cole come back in this rotation? As a joke, because Benji Hill, this guy was pitcher of the month last month, and it was almost unhittable till the other night. Mookie Betts got a double off him on a hanging breaking ball or fastball that he kind of left up, but the kid's been remarkable, and I love guys taking advantage of opportunities, and he's done a remarkable job to maintain that rotation.
Well, you mentioned Rizzo. I'm genuinely concerned that the narrative for him at the end of the day is going to be he was never the same after getting hit in the head on that freak moment where Fernando Tatis Jr. is going back to first base and he's trying to tag him and his head gets hit. He just doesn't strike me as the same player anymore, Kevin. He just doesn't. Yeah,
he's been a tick off. He still has power. He still has home run power. He's a guy that can get going. And maybe, like this game, at times you have the first half, second half, you have this and that, and you find your way. But he's a veteran. He's going to give you a tough at bat. He plays great defense at first base, and he's doesn't have to hit third for you. You can put him wherever you need to be, but I still like his presence in that lineup.
Kevin Millar here on the Rich Eisen Show. Do you got anything to say about Angel Hernandez retiring? Kevin?
I think it was a good time. I think it was a good time for Angel to get out. Listen, this is not rocket science, right? We all have replay systems now. We have boxes. There was some stuff that was kind of wearing on players. And, it's not as easy as people think. But the last 5 years, I think when you were hearing about some stuff, Angel Hernandez seemed to be around that stuff. But, hell, he had a hell of a career. Umpire a lot of games, and time is now.
Yeah, I mean, I was getting the sense that players just didn't respect him at all anymore. Is that something that you were sensing too, or you had something similar for another umpire when you were playing, Kevin?
It's funny because I had a chance to talk to all umpires at first base. They do the rotation, so There's an engagement there. Some guys don't like to engage. Boom, that's it. Some guys engage, and you have conversation. I've never felt Angel Hernandez had this huge ego. I felt at times he was a bad umpire. I don't feel that. I just feel at times that the instincts, started kind of dwindling. And you don't get to that level unless you're a great umpire. And maybe he was great, but it's just like players, right? You age and then you're not great anymore. There's bat speed that slows down or velocity on the fastball. So, listen, there's some great young umpires. This is about opportunity. And when you start seeing that change, I think the time for sure is now.
So, listen, it's never been tougher to umpire. You talk about, all the, it's funny. My 10-year-old daughter came in to the room the other day, and we were watching one of the Yankee Dodger broadcasts, and the broadcast was late in putting up that, strike zone over the plate for the pitch. Mm-hmm. And she goes, "Where's the box?" is what she said. Like, we're now used to seeing, the box. And I'm like, hold on a second, it's going to come right up. And then it did, which, me as a dad, it makes me look great, that I know what I'm talking about. And so, but that, we see that. There's umpire auditor, Twitter accounts. There's all sorts of stuff that makes you see in the moment how off an umpire really is. But I'm just wondering, what do you get when you're talking to an umpire and seeing if he's going to engage? Like, what do you get from that?
Well, there's a way to ask, right? There's balls off the plate, and I played in an era when the Braves were getting that. Now we get a box, and you're looking at a half an inch off the plate, and you're going to get that's a ball.
Yeah,
there's a different scene. So there's a way when they give away. Is that as far as you're going to go? You're moving the dirt around. You can't give them both sides if you gave an inside corner off the plate or out. So I think that the box should be gone. And I think that, there's strikes, but this isn't a strike, So I think the box kind of makes them get graded. They used to not get graded. We get graded as players. You don't perform, you get sent down. I think the frustration back in our day was, who is responsible to grade them, or it's that 2-strike call that's off the plate that they take the bat out of your hand. It's not the 0-1 pitch or the 0-0 pitch, because you get 3 strikes. So you can talk, you can engage that way, but some don't, that's a good pitch. Hey, wait, timeout. First of all, that's not a good pitch. It's not a strike. So, then it starts this defense mode. But at the end of the day, I just think we are too fine. It's like the guy that beats the throw and then you hold the glove on there and then his shoelace comes off and now he's out and go to the replay. It sometimes gets a little ridiculous.
You'd like to remove the box from the broadcast, from television broadcast?
I think so. We get fixated on that box, right? It's kind of like going to watch a Cowboys game and you end up just staring at the big screen the whole game, right? And I think the box, sometimes you lose that feel because, sometimes it crosses the plate and the catcher catches it off the plate. But it's a strike.
Yeah, that's interesting. All right, Kevin. So you're going to be out there Friday, July 12th through Sunday, July 14th on NBC, and the special coverage on Peacock and the Golf Channel. Peacock you can see right here on Roku. You're going to peg it up. You don't know who you're paired with yet, right? That you won't know that until you get there.
Usually the first round we're with whoever you are, football, baseball, basketball. Then you get paired up where you kind of are in stable first scoring, but it is a fun Augusta for us in this moment, the greatest event out there. I mean, American Century does a great job. Edgewood, the golf course, NBC, it is remarkable.
Who's the most fun partner you've had in the years you've done this?
Brian Urlacher and I always got a bet going. We are like neck and neck. He's a tick better, but we grind. Mike Vrabel is one of my favorites, just hilarious. And, it's funny because we're not all good. We all think we are good when we're walking in there until you realize we stink. Guys get mad. So Braves has got that linebacker mentality, but just a lot of good people you get a chance to meet that, you wouldn't have known before these great events.
Kevin, thanks for the time, brother. Always enjoyed chatting ball with you.
I appreciate you, Rich. Thanks, bro.
You got it. Everybody check him out on Intentional Talk on MLB Network and keep an eye out for Kevin for the American Century Championship Tournament. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern for free.